This is the atmosphere in ArmStalker.
Вот и все, сталкера. Добро пожаловать на бар «Заря».
It's a private server for Russian-speaking players. What makes it so special is the collective immersion, or rather realistic role-playing, being promoted by the players and the admins, making the experience all the more intense. In my journey here, I was portraying an American journalist, a perfect background story to my curiosity to explore the settings of this one-of-a-kind experience. The mission? To dive deep into the game world and to probe just how realistic they make it out to be. Хорошо, что... Ой! О! Что это?
Дверь закрой!
A bit of background first. ArmStalker and other servers like it are based on the Stalker video game series, relatively old single-player games that have deep roots in the gaming culture of Russia, Ukraine and other former Soviet Union countries. It's a series of FPS story-driven horror games. You can think of it as the predecessor of the Metro series, but with less underground stuff. It's a reimagining of the Chernobyl catastrophe in a sci-fi setting that led to all sorts of mutants and anomalies. Those private online servers are attempting to make those single-player game experiences of the Stalker series come to life in a multiplayer game world environment. Hi there.
Иностранцы.
Where am I?
I'm sorry for my English, but you are in the zone, actually.
Корми давай.
Players mostly play as stalkers, a term which in this universe means illegal explorers and scavengers of the exclusion zone. Stalkers can be loners, or they can be a part of a clan, such as Freedom, a group of stalkers that believe that the zone should be its own entity, or Duty, an army-like group that fanatically hunts the mutants in the zone, or Clear Sky, the underground scientists of the zone. There are a bunch more, including the Ukrainian military that hunts for stalkers. Those private servers are popular in games like Arma 3, DayZ, Gmod, all of which have good modding tools for the community. There are advantages and disadvantages to each game. For instance, Arma doesn't have female characters, and even with all the mods out there, they couldn't quite figure out how to easily integrate female characters into Arma. But they did figure out how to add female headsets, so the solution ended up being that females would have a female face and a male body. It's not just Arma 3 that's plagued with poor customization. All those games are plagued with the same problem, and they don't even have a height slider. But you work with what you can, and that didn't stop Stalker enthusiasts to create fantastic servers in those games and others.
Ты можешь... Болты оплавляет.
Заказ, а у тебя никогда не было, когда ты смотришь на нее, желание туда такое, что она тебя зовет, и ты к ней идешь все ближе и ближе, а она все ярче и ярче.
In order to play in the servers, you kinda need to know Russian. Luckily, I've studied Russian and I knew it quite good enough to play, even though there were some misunderstandings. Пойду я чуть-чуть погулять, размяжаться.
Размяться.
Этот член как мне мешает.
Что мешает?
Шлем.
Просто мне чуть-чуть другое.
Some servers will let you play without Russian or with poor Russian, but in this case you might be in for a constant struggle.
Yeah, I know little words, so I cannot just communicate with them for real good, but still, it's good to, it's good that I can understand them sometimes.
This is a clip from the first moment that I logged into the ArmStalker universe. I was excited because it's been a while since I spoke Russian and I just didn't know how to play out my voice. Up to this moment, all my roleplay was done with text. So this moment was special for
Что
me.
ты целишься? Никто тебя здесь не тронет.
Не нарочно, просто извините.
Ага.
Once I got through that initial hurdle, it snowballed from there. I made friends and we went on expeditions together. I really enjoyed my experience there. It felt like I was being embraced by the community, and the interaction I had there was certainly special to me. I even had some romance developing.
Ты, кстати, меня вчера так в тот раз, когда поцеловала при Долговце, ты знаешь, как он ревновал потом? О, блядь. Да-да-да, честное слово.
As far as how realistic it felt, I think you can see by my reactions that I was completely drawn into the world. It wasn't the graphics, which at times didn't even seem that great. The graphics is an integral part of the experience, but it's not the unique part of the experience. The unique part is about the players and the admins excelling at what they do and pushing for realistic and immersive role-playing.
Всю бутылку.
And I completely bought into that. I was 100% there as my character, living and breathing in the mutants-ridden post-apocalyptic Chernobyl.
Нас идет, кстати.
But then something interesting happened that I did not expect. It all started when they found out about my YouTube channel, where I would post recordings of my game session on the server. Then they started commenting there, and it was nice to get the attention. Up until then, nobody had really watched my channel. We also started speaking to each other outside the game, and it was fun to talk to them for sure, and fun to get the attention. Thing is, the more I got to know the people behind the players, the less intense the immersion inside the game was starting to feel. It was a trade-off, I guess. It kinda messed up my anonymity and the feeling that I was inside another world, where I would only respond to the world and not to the behind the scenes of the world, which includes talking to the players outside the game. Especially if we spoke about the game events, or even coordinating playing times. I guess for other players it's pretty natural to be buddy-buddy outside the game. Nobody other than me seemed to mind, they all seemed to be okay with it, but I just couldn't feel the same way about the game. So I'd lost my motivation and decided to quit ArmStalker. A few weeks later I tried to give it another go and I was playing on yet another private server. The admins of the server asked me to play a central female character role, despite my broken Russian. I guess that's because there aren't a lot of females playing there.
Привет.
Здрасте.
О, девушка.
Так же. Девушек у нас мало в зоне, надо их беречь.
I felt quite special. The game masters even made a story that revolves around my character. But again, once I got to know the players behind the characters, lo and behold, I lose my edge and feel less like playing. And it wasn't just that. For the plot to progress smoothly, I practically needed to play every day. And it was just too much for me, and of course in the days when I didn't play, I missed all the important events. The players even sent me a streaming recording of what happened, which is information that my character can't use. That's the difference between the player and the character. As the player, I could know everything. I could even read the characters' background stories and watch other players live streaming, which is also information I couldn't use as the character. I'm not supposed to know that stuff, and ultimately that hurt my immersion because I rather not know. And when I don't know, my reactions are more real and the intensity therefore increases. So, lack of continuity with logging times and knowing too much stuff out of character ended up disillusioning me, which is kinda sad because I felt like there was more I could have experienced there. It doesn't take away from the brilliance and the atmosphere that they managed to create. Maybe it's a natural process that over time you start to see the cracks and the imperfections in stuff, especially someone like me who looks for them. If something gets repetitive, I just don't do it anymore, and there was no hook to keep me in the game. I could certainly imagine a hook strong enough to have kept me in the game for a longer period of time. But regardless, those private Stalker hardcore immersion servers are a testament to what could be, how we can take role-playing to the next level, how deep and further we could lose ourselves in the virtual worlds that we create, and how real can they feel and affect us. Where am I? Where am I?
Stop. Stop.
Who are you? What is this place? Leave me alone. Who are you? I'll shoot. I'm not afraid to shoot.
Тихо. Все нормально, все хорошо. Не стреляй. Are you friendly?
Вот, смотри, вон оно. То, что мы ищем.
Боже мой. Что, ребята, все государство Украины хочет меня убить? А ребята, могу я сфотографировать эти вещи?
Фотографировать хочешь эти камушки?
Эх, целый промышленный город, и ничего от него не осталось. Заказ. Сильно пьяный? Нет. Можно тебя на минутку? Можно.
Тебе перекосоебило всего.
Что за секреты?
Не подумай. Ничего секретов нет никаких.
Меня я даже ровно иду.
Все хорошо, дружище.
Чё смеётесь?